Hello, Zuko here. So today I thought I would talk about the 2021 releases so far this year that I have personally read, and we're gonna go over the ones that I really liked, the ones that I really didn't like, and the ones that were just kind of meh. This year has been like really hit or miss so far with the ones I've read. So let's roast some books. So to start off, we have Across the Green Grass Field by Shauna McGuire. This is book 5 or 6 in the Wayward Children series. I loved this book. This was a weird horse girl book. I'm not a horse girl. I thought this was really fun. This also includes a character who is intersex, which I don't think you really see in books ever. I really enjoyed this and I ended up giving it a 4 out of 5 stars. Next, I have Into the Heartless Woods by Joanna Ruth Meyer. This is a book about a forest that is ruled by a witch who has made 7, I think, evil daughters who all kill people, and the forest is slowly expanding into human territory and killing a bunch of people. And I wanted to like this, but it really wasn't a creepy forest book. It was a straight romance. Something I liked about this book was there is a really nice sibling relationship between the older brother and his younger sister. I really liked that aspect of it. One of the things I really didn't like is that everything just felt like the villains were boring. They were boring for the sake of being boring. I think they were just bad. It was all, they were one-dimensional. Like, they were bad as an evil. There was just, and it had a really predictable plot. So if you like fun sibling relationships, I would say maybe pick this up. And another pro is that it has like a decent atmosphere. Like, I like the fantasy world setting. In my head, it's like Irish inspired because the audiobook, the narrator had like an Irish accent for the main character. I liked the world building, but I just felt like it was really like flat and one-dimensional once the characters were put into it. So I give this a 2 out of 5 stars. Then we have What Big Teeth by Szabo. This is a book following a like familial mystery with a girl who is sent to boarding school, and she returns to her family, who is a bunch of wolves. They're not werewolves, but they're like shapeshifters. The pros to this book are this cover and just the kind of bizarreness of the story. Like, I feel like it goes places you're not necessarily expecting, and it was weird. And I like that aspect. But some of the downsides are that this book was so slow. It took so long for things to happen, and even then they almost still felt like kind of anticlimactic. Like, I wish this book was more fast-paced and interesting and like more things were explained. But I mean, this cover's really pretty. This, I think, is also a debut release, so I'm really excited to see what the author puts out next, because I think this is a really good jumping off point for the author, and I hope to see their work improve. So yeah, that's this. I gave this a 3 out of 5 stars. And we have the most disappointing book so far, which was Lost in the Neverwoods by Aiden Thomas. Now, I went into Cemetery Boys so excited, and I loved it. I gave that book a 5-star. This is not Cemetery Boys. This is not even close to Cemetery Boys. Okay, so I went into this book with, like, I've not really consumed any Peter Pan media. I haven't read the book. I've never seen even the Disney movie. Maybe I saw Hook once as a kid. I don't remember. So I'm not super familiar, I guess, with the entire story. It didn't matter because this book seemed to be lacking all of that. I wanted a super whimsical, creepy woods book, and we got some straight kids in a small town. That's it. So, some of the pros. I like this cover. Some of the cons are everything else. Oh, I hated this book. Instead of having like mermaids and pirates and battles and blah blah blah, it has nothing. The whole book is Wendy and Peter's characters meeting up and having the exact same conversations over and over again while kids are going missing. They're like, Wendy's like, oh, I need to find my missing brothers. And Peter's like, yeah. And then they just do that the whole book. And then you get to 80% of the book, and then like something kind of starts to pick up, and the villain monologues and says the most villainy villain things you could possibly say, and then is like defeated super easily. Wendy is supposed to be best friends with this girl named Jordan, and they're supposed to be lifelong best friends. And as soon as Peter shows up, Wendy just stops talking to Jordan, and she's like, oh, I'm happy for the first time ever. And it's like, how are you best friends? I've been told you're best friends. They never show that they're best friends. Wendy keeps secrets. She just only wants to hang out with Peter. I hated that. That's not best friends. That's not what friendship is. That's lazy. It's bad. Like, when you find, like, when something happens to you, the first thing you tend to do is go tell your best friend, because you're like, this is so weird. Even if it's something you don't think they'll believe, you're gonna go tell them anyway. No, Wendy didn't give a shit about her best friend, so I don't understand how they were best friends at all. There was also just like an unlocked room in Wendy's house that she'd never been in before. She'd lived in that house like all of her life, and her dad's study she'd just never been in. And that was weird. All the adults in this book were also just written to be like objectively not good people. And it just, everything about this book fell flat. I didn't like it. It was a slog to get through, and it was just really badly written, and I'm really disappointed because it was so sad, because Aiden Thomas had such a good debut novel that to read something after that that was so bad was really disappointing. I gave this 1 out of 5 stars because I really just didn't like this book. Next is House of Hollow by Krystal Sutherland. This is a book about 3 girls who went missing for a month when they were very small, and when they came back they were different, and it's kind of the mystery surrounding them. Things I liked about this book were pretty much everything. I loved the creepiness of this book. It had a really good atmosphere. I liked the characters. I love a good, like, familial bond. This book follows the 3 sisters, if that's not clear. I loved that 2 of the sisters were queer. I loved the cover. I loved just truly everything about this book. The cons I found to this book are that I wish that there was a little bit more explanation at the end, but honestly, if that's my biggest issue with it, that's fine. Look at this cover. It's very like reminiscent of the Wilder Girls cover, except I loved this book and Wilder Girls fell so flat for me. So if you want like an eerie, atmospheric book with sibling main characters, I super recommend this. I liked all the characters in this. I thought this was awesome. I gave this book a 5 out of 5 stars. And I read the 6th book in the Murderbot Diaries. This is Fugitive Telemetry by Martha Wells. I don't have a huge amount to say about this book because it is the 6th book in a series, but I did enjoy this. I also binge read and reread the whole Murderbot series to get here. So this is the one I've read the least, so I remember it the least, even though it's the most recent that I've read. But I really enjoyed this. All of the Murderbot books are just great. I think you should pick these up. I gave this a 4 out of 5 stars, which is generally what I've given the whole series, so yeah. Lastly, for now, I have The Ivies by Alexa Donne. I just finished reading this the other day. I mean, it just came out a couple days ago. So if you don't know, Alexa Donne is an author here on YouTube, and I was very excited when she had announced this book because her first 2 books didn't really interest me at all, and this one super did, and I was not disappointed. So things I liked about this book were, I liked the writing style, I liked how modern it felt, and it was very weird to read the mention of COVID. I liked the mystery, and I liked the characters. I thought they were interesting. What I didn't like so much is that I wonder if how modern it is going to age the book. Like, I wonder if in 3 or 4 years it's going to feel like a really old book or like a book from 2021. But honestly, I really enjoyed this book. I thought it was super fun. I thought it was a good mystery. I couldn't put it down. I wanted to keep reading it. I was like honestly not expecting a book that I liked so much from a YouTube author, which sounds kind of bad because I know that being a YouTuber has no impact on whether or not you can write a book, because I believe Alexa is an author first and a YouTuber second, giving writing advice. I'll link her channel in the information card, I guess, or down below. But yeah, I had high hopes for this book, but low expectations, because giving writing advice is a separate skill from being able to write well. And she's good at giving writing advice. I wasn't sure if she was going to be a good writer, but I really enjoyed this, and I'm excited to pick up any other books that she puts out. I gave this probably a 4.5 out of 5 stars, so I rounded up 5 stars on Goodreads. Really enjoyed it. So yeah, those are all of the 2021 releases I have read in the first half of 2021. I hope you all enjoyed it. I hope that we can have a discussion if you have opinions that are different than mine in the comments below. Let me know if you liked these books, if you hated them, if you agreed with me. Let me know if you disagreed with me in a respectful way, please. Because we can all have different tastes here, and that's okay. So yeah, I'll see you whenever I do my next video.